Capt.Jeyaraj. So I am working with Adani Ports and SEZ Limited. This is the number one private port operator in India. In Adani, I have led four ports during my 9-year tenure. I headed Adani Kattupalli Port Private Limited and Adani Ennur Container Terminal. Both are situated in Chennai. Uh, then before that, after this, I was heading the Mundra container terminals. During my tenure at Mundra, we surpassed Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, Mumbai, as the number one container port in India. We end up doing 7 million TEUs. And later I worked as a COO at Adani Hazira Port. And then followed by that, they joined Adani Mormugao Container Port Limited. So at present, at present I am positioned in Tanzania. So I have joined Adani International Division. So we are going to take over a container terminal in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam. So I am positioned there, and I'll be handling that opportunity. Before joining Adani, I worked in two uh, multinational container terminal operator, namely DP World and APM Terminals. APM Terminals is part of a Maersk line. You might have seen the containers, blue color containers with the 7 star. It's a Maersk line, the number one company in India, means in world. After completing my graduation, I sailed in Merchant Navy and mainly in oil tankers for 15 years. During this 15-year time, the end of my career, I was captaining the ships, the oil tankers. So after working 15 years in ships, then I joined shore job, and then I worked in a container terminal and then Adani ports. That is my story, and this is a small introduction of myself. In this brief presentation, I will be showing to you. I am starting with the National Maritime Day and the evaluation of container shipping, followed by the Indian shipping and logistic industries, how we are growing to the next level. So let me share a presentation with you. Can you see the screen? Yeah. So you can see in the screen that there is a ship called SS Loyalty. This is the first Indian flagged Western ship. It's sailed out from Mumbai to UK on 5th April 1919. There's a first Indian company, the Scindia Steam Navigation Company Limited. Uh, they are the owner of that. There's the first Indian company also. The National Maritime Day was celebrated on 5th April 1960 for first time. In memory of this day of 5th April 1919, the ship sailed out from Mumbai to UK. But here we have to remember one thing. Most of you will be knowing who is V.O. Sidambaram Pillai. So he started a company called Sudesi Steam Navigation Company, and that was registered in 12th November 1906. And they were running two ships, regular services between Tuticorin and Colombo. So, actually, that is the first shipping company run by any Indian. But somehow the government decided to take the 5th April 1919 sailing of SL Loyalty. So National Maritime Day has to be celebrated? What we are going to remember in these days. So recently you might have seen in Persian Gulf, a lot of ships are getting attacked, missiled by some countries or some militant organizations, and it resulted in damages to the merchant navy vessels. Because of this, the cargo movement to Gulf countries is getting affected. and this is impacting the exporters and importers. So they are going for the air transport, air logistics. The present situation is air logistics is not able to handle that much volume of cargo, and in last 1 or 2 months, the air freight has increased 3 4 times. So that is the situation. That is the importance of the movement of cargo through the ships. And in 23rd March 2021, the merchant navy vessel Evergreen grounded at Suez Canal. Because of this grounding, 300 other ships got stranded. They are supposed to pass through the Suez Canal. They are not able to pass. So they got stranded. And some ships, they selected to go through the south of Africa. It is a 13 days additional passage. So this incident has cost the world trade 10 billion US dollar. So that is the impact. If some ship activity is getting affected, how the trade is getting affected. And recently, you might have seen that 26 March 2024, merchant navy vessel Delhi, DALI, Delhi, collided with Francis Scott Bridge at Baltimore. The video was widely circulated in WhatsApp. This is a major disaster for the port, Baltimore port in particular, and it is a big event for the world trade also. So, what are the damages happened because of these incidents? For the ship owner, damages to his ship, and he get numerous claims to follow. Uh, he will get claims from all the ships stranded because of the bridge collapse, and a lot of exporters, importers who is supposed to get their cargo, they will be raising a claim to the ship owner. Like that, and there are some life also lost. Though they also raise some claim. So numerous claims will come to the ship owner. And for the Baltimore authorities, it is a big task of cleaning the debris from the waterways and the cost of rebuilding the bridge. And for the insurance companies who is going to bear this cost, it's a huge cost for them. And of course, some families has lost their near ones, which cannot be compensated. These are the big losses, and for a single incident. So this National Maritime Day is celebrated to reflect upon the role of merchant navy. Merchant navy moves 90% of the world cargo moving from country to country. So it's a huge responsibility on the shoulders of men and women who keep this 90% of the world trade moving seamlessly. Pilot age. These are some these conditions which was happening long before, when the life on sailing on a ship was very good. Then in 1970, after 1970, industrialization happened, and a lot of things changed, and the life on ship became very hectic. These are the reasons why we have to reflect the role of the merchant navy officers on the National Maritime Day. I want to talk about the devaluation of the cargo handling. Uh, that the ships are moving cargo, even the Vikings days and long before thousand, hundred of centuries before itself. The movement is happening through the seas. And what type of cargo normally they move? It's a break bulk cargo and bulk cargo. Bulk cargo is normally coal, grain, liquid, and all moves in the bulk cargo. And break bulk cargo is transported in packages. They are mainly manufactured goods. They are carried in barrels, sacks, craters. And how these break bulk cargoes are moved? They are loaded on a ship, then lashed down on board, then the ship sailed to the destination, then it is unlashed and unloaded. And how it is being loaded and unloaded? Up to 18th century, it is thousands of manpower. They used to carry the cargo on their shoulder, which is called one man load. Normally, it is some 40-50 kilos. They carry it on their shoulder and they load it on the vessel. So during this time, the ship used to be at the port more than being at the sea. So normally the ship is built to carry cargo and move in the sea and spend more time in the sea. But it was not happening like that. So Then the breakable cargo, for handling breakable cargo, the unitization started happening. What is unitization? Is consolidating multiple smaller units into a larger unit. It helped in improving the warehouse efficiency, and it's a quick packaging and arranging, and it's a more efficient handling. And one more upgradation of unitization is palletization. Palletization is the standard pallets are made. Normally today it is 48 by 40 inches size pallets are made. The individual packets are put on the pallets, and it is wrapped, and to give the stability, and then it is easy to handle. That is the palletization. Then the next step of palletization is the containerization. In 18th century itself, they used some wooden containers, but it was not giving that much advantage. The first commercially successful container ship was MT Ideal X. It's a tanker converted into a container. It is done by a gentleman called Malcolm McLean. He is normally named as the pioneering of containerization. They have carried 58 metal containers between New Jersey and Houston. This happened in April 26, 1956. So that is the first container vessel happened, and the advantage of handling container vessel is containers is it can be loaded in a container vessel, and the container vessel is having another name called cellular vessels. It means there are multiple cells built on the vessels, so a container will set in one cell. So it is easy to handle, easy to load and unload. This is the evaluation of container vessels. Uh, After 1956, the first container vessel moved. In 1968, uh, there was a vessel called Encounter Bay. The capacity was 1,530 TEUs. TEUs is 20 equivalent unit. The containers having standard size. It can be either 20 feet length or can be 40 feet length. Because of the 20 feet length, they call it 20 equivalent units. So in 1968, the ship was built with 1,530 TEUs, and it started evolving. And in now we are having a ships of 24,000 TEUs. And just imagine the size of a 24,000 TEUs. It is 400-meter length and 60 plus meter width and 25-meter depth. It will be moving in the ship carrying 24,000 containers. And just to give you the size, a football ground is 120-meter length, and this ship is 3 to 4 football ground length. This 400-meter ship. That is the size of container vessels nowadays. So Amrit call. So this is the statement which I am showing is the statement of Prime Minister. Starting from here, the journey of the next 25 years is the Amrit Kal of New India. The fulfillment of our resolutions in this Amrit Kal will take us till 100 years of independence. This is a program for 25 years long lead up to India at 100. A journey from India at 75, that is the present day, to India at 100, that's 2047. So our aim is in 2047, we have to reach as a developed country. So that is the government has put lot of plan for that, and logistics and shipping is one of the important arm to this development and reaching that developed country stage in 2047. So is it possible? Uh, is it this is possible? Why? Because I want to show a small graph. This is a graph of working age population of India and China. The black one is China, and you can see in somewhere around 2010 they got 72.9% of working age population, and after that it started declining. And the yellow line which shows that Indian It is in 2030 we will be reaching 68.9% working age population. Then it will start reducing little bit. So, in other words, if I put in 2030, the dependency ratio is 31.2. Dependency ratio is people who cannot work and they are dependent upon others. That is just 31%, and 68.9% is work age manpower. Uh, that is a very good thing. Why? Why? With the young population in 2030, with the young population of mean age of 28.4 years, you get a very good workforce, and this workforce having a very high power of consumption. These two is going to build steer our economy, and we are going to beat lot of economies, and we are going to go higher. So, in a way, I want to congratulate you all, because in the next 20, 30 years, in next 2, 3 decades, India is the place to do business or to work. So this is going to grow, and you are in the right place now. India is having a largest pool of graduates in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and we are all English speaking. These are all added advantage which is going to propel us to the 2047 developed stage. And for a country to have a strong economic growth, yeah, one of the important one is we have to have a good export system. Our economic growth in the first quarter of financial year 23 allowed us to overcome UK to become the fifth largest economy. So we are the fifth largest economy in the world. You all know that number one is US, number two is China, and number three is German, which is 4,730 billion US dollar, and number four is Japan, 4,291 US billion dollar. We are just 4,112 billion US dollar. So in next 2, 3 years, we will be overtaking Japan and German to reach number three biggest economy in the world. In financial year 23, the second quarter, we have showed a very good growth rate of 9%. With this growth rate, we definitely in 2, 3 years we will be beating these two countries, and we will end up in the third position. What is the key drivers for this economic growth? Strong domestic demand for consumption and investment. For a country exports to grow, we have to create a lot of jobs and become more sophisticated and competitive. And for this export growth, we have to have an efficient logistics system and integration of our domestic firms with the global value chains. So, what is this? This logistics has to do supply chain management. What it has to do is it has to ensure delivery of the right product at the right place at the right time in proper condition. All for this to a reasonable cost. And when we talk about India's logistic cost, India's logistics cost is one of the highest in the world. We are almost 14% of our GDP we spend for our logistic costs, where the developed countries they spend less than 10%. So this efficient logistics system, it is having important factor of how to reduce the logistic cost. So that will give a big advantage to us. And in your efficient logistics ecosystem, we are having four beautiful programs. One is Gati Shakti's National Master Plan. Second one is Sagarmala. Third one is dedicated freight corridors. And fourth is inland waterways. I'll explain about these four items briefly. Gati Shakti is National Master Plan. The aim of Gati Shakti National Master Plan is of coordinated planning and execution of infrastructure projects to basically bring down the logistic cost. It targets to cut logistic cost, increase cargo handling capacity, reduce the turnaround time. Actually, Gati Shakti is a digital platform connecting multiple ministries, including rail and road. And the main aim of this is to reduce cost of logistics. And second one is that improve our logistics performance index. Logistics performance index is a tool created by World Bank. This is to identify for the countries the challenges and opportunities in their program. So suppose if you send one cargo from India to a destination nation, and if the second nation is the developed country having a good logistics systems, and if our logistics system is not that effective, then we are compromising the full logistics system. That in limited, say some 30 days, the cargo has to reach. It will not reach, and it will cost more for the exporter and importer. Basically, a supply chain is only as good as the weakest link. So our aim is to improve on the weakest link, and this logistics performance index score the countries as per their as per the 4 5 factors are there, as per the factors, and show the country where they are and how they can improve on that. In 2023, the latest report by World Bank on logistics performance index put us in 38th position in 139 countries. In 2018, we were in 44th position. So in last 5 years, we have moved up 6 places. So the important factor which are identified in this is quality of the logistics services and trade and transport related infrastructure. The logistic infrastructure is the important factor. It is for calculating the logistics performance index. Then the third one is the border controls. Border control means they are talking about the central excise, the customs, who controls the movement in the border, the cargo going out and cargo coming in. So this government has initiated a lot of initiation, something like a faceless assessment. Previously, yeah, the cargo coming to India or getting exported, it will go to a appraising officer, and you have to go and meet the appraising officer, and you have to explain to him what are the things. Then he will give the clearance. There was a chance of uh, corruption into it. To make remove the corruption, the government has made it as a faceless assessment. Now it will go to any officer in the pan India basis, and he will be checking that as per the regulation and clearing it. And another one, the border control initiative is we started doing a direct port deliveries. So a customer's container comes to India. Previously, it goes to CFS or ICDs, and from there the customer has to take the cargo. So it was resulting in multiple handling. So with the direct port deliveries, the customer was allowed to take the container from the port. So this cost has reduced and the transit time has reduced. So these are some initiatives which gave a result, and we end up at the 38th position in logistics performance index given out in 2023. The next index, it will happen after the 4 5 years. We definitely will be moving because a lot of other initiatives are happening. And the second one is that Sagar Mala. You can see in that diagram, the India's map. So we are having the multiple ports, something like a string of ports. So this is being named as a Sagarmala. It symbolizes the connectedness and strategic importance of Indian ports and the maritime infrastructure. So the first point in Sagarmala, there are 7 important points that Sagarmala is going to carry out. The first is the port modernization and development. So this talks about modernizing the existing ports. Uh, India is already having 12 major ports, and numerous number of private ports. So the government's first one is to modernize the existing ports. Modernize the existing means they have to connect, give a better infrastructure, better connectivity, and how to improve and use the present infrastructure to the maximum capability. So that will be taken care in port modernization and development. Second will be coastal shipping. This is for transporting goods and passengers within these coastal ports. Like you can see in the map, Kandla in west and Haldia in the east. These two are having multiple ports in between. So the cargo can be moved in all these ports. When we are talking about coastal shipping, I want to talk about one initiative Government of India has taken in last year. Uh, you'll be knowing Orissa is having lot of coal mines, and one of the biggest coal mine in Orissa is Mahanadi coal mines. That is run by Coal India. Coal India do the mining there, and from there it distribute the coal to all the NTPC owned power plants. And from Orissa, the coal mines move to these power plants through rails. So these are long distance rails. So because of this long distance rails, it was found out the railway rakes, are there is a shortage of railway rakes because most of the rakes are used in the long distance movement. In a number of days, they are occupied there, and because of that, there is a shortage of rakes. So the government of India has decided there will not be any long distance rakes. So this coal from Mahanadi coal mine has been moved to Paradip Port, which is in the eastern side of India. Paradip Port through the rail. From Paradip Port, it will be moved to Mormugao Port through sea, through the coastal shipping. And from Mormugao Port, there is a power plant in Kudiki, which is in Karnataka, and it will go through rail. So the rail movement becomes shorter and the sea movement becomes longer. And because of that, they were able to remove the congestion in the railway network, and the more railway rakes are available for other cargo movements. So this is the improvement they brought in coastal shipping. So because of this, the mines are getting enough. Mines are able to send the enough coal to all the power plants to generate power for the Indian consumption. This is just an example of us how coastal shipping has been improved under this government. And industrial logistics hub development. This is to create hubs near ports to attract investment, promote manufacturing, and enhance supply chain efficiency. Basically, we have to set up industrial clusters, warehousing facilities, distribution centers to support trade. This will be done near the ports. You can see that the various players like Amazon and even Flipkart and like these people, they were encouraged to build big warehouses near the port. There they will be storing their commodities, and they will have a distribution center from there. It will be reaching to all their main distribution center. So this industrial logistics hubs in port helps the movement, and it reduce the logistics cost and the time taken for this movement. Then the port connectivity. This is mainly talking about that last mile connectivity between ports and the hinterland. The last when you're talking about the supply chain, uh, from the initiator to receiver, the shipping is one sector which is in the middle, and after that it is going in a, either a rail or road or inland waterway to the final customer. That is now majorly occupied by unorganized sectors. But the big players are entering into that, make it as an organized sector, and more easily the customer is getting his items, and with that reliability that in within how many days he is going to get and with what cost. So last mile connectivity is a keyword now being used by all the big companies. pushed by the government of India to improve the logistics. Then we are talking about the shipbuilding and repair. This is to promote shipbuilding and repair infrastructure. When I was working in Indian shipping company, I worked in the Shipping Corporation of India. Our ships go for dry dock. It's a yearly it's a 2 yearly repair work. So we go it normally to Colombo, Singapore, like these countries, because such facility was not available in India at that time. So now the government is pushing for the shipbuilding industry, and a lot of industries are coming like government-owned shipyards like Cochin, Mazagandot, and those are now doing good. And in addition to that, L&T and other players also encouraged to participate in shipbuilding. This is to establish the shipyards and promote shipbuilding technology, and then incentivize the shipbuilding ecosystem. There is a shipbuilding ecosystem gives a lot of job opportunities. Lot of industries will be coming around the shipbuilding yards. Then the sixth point is the port-led development. Port act as a catalyst for economic growth and development. It can promote tourism, fisheries, like in Goa, where I was working. We have cruise vessels coming to the port. You can definitely see at least one or two vessels every day, and lot of passenger comes and moves around. So it gives good revenue and good movement to the port. But it gives the tourism industry in Goa has improved quite a lot because of this. Such port-led development is being encouraged by Sagarmala. And then environmental sustainability. This is encouraging of green practices, eco-friendly technologies to be used in all this Sagarmala, all the items like port modernization, coastal shipping, industrial hubs, connectivities, shipbuilding, development. Everywhere they are talking about environmental sustainability, and that solar power generation, non-fossil power generation, and all time and again being told, and lot of incentive is given into that to move towards the green practices. And the fourth one is the dedicated freight corridor. We are having two freight corridors, dedicated freight corridor. The meaning of dedicated freight corridor is it is only for cargo movement. The passenger trains are not normally allowed in this network. Uh, this is to avoid any congestion in the logistic movement of cargo. At present, before this dedicated freight corridor, how the Indian railway network works is the priority is always given to the passenger trains. So the timing a passenger train has to maintain is the number one priority. But if there is this other container or other train that will be staying somewhere, and you will not know when it will reach its destination. Sometimes it may take 1 or 2 days delays also. So then the customer who is receiving that, he will add up all this costs in this one. So that's the importer will be paying that much additional cost. So to reduce that logistic cost and build a reliability, the government has built dedicated freight corridors. And this we are having a western dedicated freight corridor, which is stretching from Dadri, that is in Delhi, to Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust in Mumbai. The map shows that the path of that one. So it is coming through Ahmedabad and Mumbai, and it is covering our western part, all the manufacturing sectors. So this will give a reliable time movement in cargo, in rail cargo. And eastern dedicated freight corridor starts from Ludhiana in Punjab, and this will be terminating in West Bengal, and it will be moving through states like Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Jharkhand. So I didn't show that eastern dedicated freight corridor in the diagram, but these two corridors, it is not yet completed actually. They are in the last leg. In both the sectors are in the last leg. They'll be expected to complete in next 1 year. And the advantage is the freight trains are going to be running at more than 100 kilometer speed, and there will be a fixed turning like shuttle service, like those services will be coming up. So fixed time, every day there will be a train going from this place to other. That much reliability the system is going to be. Then the final is that inland waterways. We are having 45,000 kilometers of dedicated inland waterways in India. What we call inland waterways is transportation via waterways such as rivers, canals, lakes that are located within a country's boundaries. This is cost effective and less polluting. Jailmark Vigas project. This is the project run by the government in the Ministry of Inland Waterways. It is running in the National Waterway 1, NW1 in Ganges, and this is connecting Varanasi and some places in West Bengal to move the coastal movement or inland waterway movement. But the challenge is what we see is some rivers are seasonal, and there is a intensive capital and maintenance dredging has to be done. Yes, most of the places rivers are not even 2 meters depth. So for the shallow barges to move on, we have to have some depth. So the dredging is compulsorily we have to do it, and it is very capital intensive. And regional waterway grids. These are the seamless inland waterway network of 3,500 kilometers to connect BBIN region. The BBIN is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal. These four countries are connected through inland waterways, regional waterway grids. This is establishing a regional framework and the shared management of inland waterways. So these are the developments which are happening in inland waterways. And just before this is the main important points I want to discuss with you about how the shipping and logistics is developing in India. I want to show you some photos of our Goa terminal. That is a coal terminal. So we handle coal. Normally, when you think about coal, you will see a lot of dust, lot of pollution coming out of that. But since this terminal being in Goa, where people come for vacation to see a pristine beach, to enjoy the pure air and all, so we can't do any pollution. So we have built a system where almost nil emission is there. So just I want to show some photographs of that place for your knowledge. The full system is the conveyor system is covered, so no dust will escape out of this covered conveyor system. And this is the first point. From the ship we handle coal and put it in the hopper. This is the point where a lot of dust will be coming, but we are having a water curtain here, dust suppression system, water curtain. You can see that white color space there. So that will not allow any dust particles to come out of this hoppers. The conveyor system is having a lot of transfer points. All the transfer points again have the foggers, so to remove all the dust coming in, and it will be again brought under control. Our yard where we store the coal is completely covered, so even a strong wind will not take the coal and make a coal dust. And there is an automated sprinkling system in the yard. So any dust anywhere, it is captured and immediately the sprinkler starts and the dust is suppressed. We also have portable water sprinkling system. Wherever we require, we are feeling this place required the dust suppression, we use this one. And we have all around windscreens. The windscreen is not only the metal screens, we have trees also. It also reduces all the any dust moving out of there. we have dump ponds to collect the runoff water. We use lot of water to spray on top of the pole to reduce the dust. Then the rainwater, all the water will get collected in the dump pond, and from the dump pond, the dump pond is built like that with a baffle wall, so the water cannot just flow through that. So by step, when it is moving, the dust particle settles down, and only the water will be flowing out to the sea. And we have dry fog dust suppression system where we are loading the trains. This is a vehicle loading system, how we load a train. And you can see water particles that are flowing. Once we load the wagon, we immediately do the covering of these wagons before moving out of our premises. This is just to show that how we are doing the covering. And the same system we are having a truck loading in places also. So with all dry fog systems without creating any dust. And when we are doing that covering of the trucks, we are having a safe system. So the man who is working on top will have a safety belt and he will not fall down. All the precautions have been taken. And before the trucks goes out of our facility, they will be water washed. So no coal dust can be carried out by the wheels or the body of the trucks. Thank you. I think, if you are having any questions, not only this presentation, anything related with shipping, I can give. But thank you for your patience in listening to this.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Satya Malavika, M.Tech second year student, sir.
Good afternoon. I can hear you. Please do.
Sir, can you tell the impact of Sagarmala project, sir? Negative impact.
You have to come a little closer, I think. You have to come a little closer. Yeah, tell me.
Yep. Sir, can you tell the negative impact of Sagarmala project, sir?
See, Sagarmala project is to how to use all our ports. We are having a string of ports in our coast. India is having a very beautiful long coast, and the Sagarmala project for connecting all the ports, how to take the advantage of the coastal movement. Uh, considering of all the nations which are having a big coastline, India is one country we don't fully capitalize on the coastline. Our coastal movement was almost non-existent. Now only it started happening, and we were more depending upon the land movement, road movement, and rail movement. So, to my understanding, the Sagarmala project connecting all the ports is going to give us advantage of making a faster movement, making a green movement, making less pollution, less cost. So, if you are finding any disadvantage, you could tell me. I can answer to that, but I don't feel any disadvantage in it.
Sir, when we are consider about the east coast, or the whenever we are construct any structure on that east coast, the north side definitely will get erosion, and the south get accretion, sir. The in this project, it is it is like a string of in our coast, sir. So definitely we can get some erosion and accretion to maintain the infrastructure. If we are doing any infrastructure development, definitely we are getting some erosion accretion. What will they consider? What they will do, the how they will rectify that?
For example, we are doing the shoreline dynamic study for Adani Airport. So in that, many of the places on that is south side of the port is subjected to severe erosion, and north side is accretion is happening. Sorry, north side is erosion and south side is accretion. So if you are constructing hard out is if you are constructing series of port, definitely the shoreline will be changing, the entire border will be changing. What will be the consequence like that and so on. But that's
Yeah,
much.
I understand. Yeah, I understand what you are telling. I think north of Katupalli port, the desalination, drinking water salination point is there. So there we are having lot of erosions,
Erosion, yeah.
and I think we are taking some action to avoid that one. So that is there. But this erosion part, when we are building the the coast is built in locations where it is having a least impact on the environment.
But similarly, Chennai port also, the Marina beach is formed due to the formation of Chennai port, and due to that, up to Rayapeta, we have, it is subjected to erosion. So
Yeah,
the
exactly. But
uh,
but Chennai city is formed because of Chennai port. If Chennai port is not there, Chennai city would not have formed. That is the economic growth the port has given. So with that, there is some ecology difficulties that I will leave to the engineers, oceanography engineers to solve that one. But
yeah,
for the economic, port is the important sector actually.
but that much demand, that series of port has will be planned in the Sagarmala. Whether that much of demand is there for the trade, for the shipping and logistics.
See, our plan is to every 200 meters, 200 kilometers or something, there should be one port. In southern peninsula, we are having that. We are having multiple port, and there is a competition of bidding the ports is happening. So, and in Maharashtra, Gujarat side also, we are having n number of ports. And eastern side, the number of ports is less, and in Karnataka and the eastern side, ports are less. So, this coast movement, okay, that ecology will be affecting that. That we have to be very careful with that. But when we are doing a movement from, say, yeah, Hyundai car is moving from Chennai to Delhi, and if it is moving all that way through road, we'll be using lot of diesel, and we'll be creating lot of pollution in that one, and the road will be congested. So it is a game between which is bad.
Yeah, yeah. Another
There is a
thing is, apart from the shoreline erosion, another thing is oil spills pollution. Well, if the shipping rates are increased, no, then
yes,
oil
but
pollution, coastal
yeah,
habitat will
if I yeah, if I say that the oil spill pollution which is happening by a repair workshop of a car repairer, he will be draining that like different type of oil when he is doing a maintenance work, and most of the time we don't see how he is going to disperse that one. So there is a high end of pollution that side, but
yeah.
any pollution happening in sea, it will be in the scale is very bigger. We will come to know immediately. So we are very careful, and lot of regulations are there. How we are pumping out, or are we pumping out any oil, and what are the things? Also, the control is there. I think the ships are having control. Only that land side, we have to be more careful. I think.
Because coastal, definitely the coastal aquaculture development, fishing, those sector will be affected. That's what our
Yeah, we have to be very careful in these developments. So where we are doing it, what the underwater life, how they are there, we have to be careful. And Australia is one country; they are very particular about this. So we have to learn from them, and we have to give that much importance to our ecology also.
Okay, okay, okay. So they any where am I? Introduce.
Sir, myself Anshia. Sir, you explained about the delicate freight corridor, sir. Can you explain more about delicate freight corridor? What are the activities they do, sir?
So dedicated freight corridor is nothing but it's a new railway line connecting Delhi to one side. Western is connecting to Mumbai, and the eastern side it is connecting to West Bengal. So presently, our railway network is connecting all main cities, and we have built up on top of what the British has built the railway line. So there, in that network, we are not getting enough space for increasing the width and all. So the dedicated freight corridor is a standalone separate line, and normally now the containers and all there is we call it as a double decker containers. So two container can be one above another can be carried. But in most of our railway line we can't do that. This dedicated freight corridor will have facility for that. Will have faster movement, and basically it's a new line. It is having a faster movement, and dedicate this double decker trains can be handled, so it will be faster. That's why we are doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So another thing is recently that is national highway. No, they are constructing. They are already they started constructing the two-tier corridor, which is connecting the Chennai port to Madurai. And Center for Water Resources, they we have got the study for studying the. It is coming in the along the some places along the Kuam River. In some places, it is crossing the river, and it is going over the alignment is going above the river also. The alignment is going like that. Previously, it was stopped in 2011. Now they have revised the alignment, and now it is two tier. The first tier is for the passenger, and the second tier is exclusively for the port cargo travel. So that inland, when you talk about the inland waterways, no, this reminded me about this Kuvam two-tier corridor project. Another thing is this port, no, that is if it is constructed naturally, port area, like if it is constructed means negative impact will be less. So when we are constructing port, that it can be created in the land like that, so that the wave action will not be there, means the erosion will be avoided. Such a kind of thing can be taken care of while constructing.
Yeah, this Madurai flyover in
Mother,
2006. Yeah, I worked in the Chennai port.
okay.
There is a container terminal called Chennai Container Terminal,
Yes,
and
yes.
for us the important problem is the congestion that container cannot come in,
Yeah,
and
well,
we
from
made a
2 to 10 gate, no,
yeah.
it is not coming the, like that they reported.
Yeah, we made a team. We worked with government to get this Madurai flyover.
Okay.
We were involved in building a partly in Kuvam, and then coming up to Madurai.
Madurai,
Then
yes, yes.
after that, for some
Yeah,
reason it
since
stopped. And
technical setup changed in 2011, it was stopped. They told the entire story. Now again it has started. They have started constructing. They have asked us to study the impact on flooding due to the corridor construction. The piers and all will be constructed in the river. No, so what will be the impact on river flooding? That's the study was given to us. So we are last week only we went for the field visit. So
I hope the report will be positive and it will happen.
yeah, definitely. Because now it is going as a thing. But anyhow, some we can ask them to. We thought of giving the recommendation. It can be trained, like in Gujarat and all. No, the river can be trained. Trained channel can be built in, so that river will flow and this passenger and then cargo also will flow. Like that, some solution instead of no every time it is river waterways, no, avoiding pollution. So many projects come. If it is a one-time solution, mean the river can be trained within that area. That is construction. It has to be a man-made construction can be done so that flooding will be within that, and then so that it will not affect the other infrastructure project also. Like that we are thinking. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. It is nice to hear this one.
Yeah, yeah. So any one more, yeah, yeah.
Good evening, sir. This is Ponmori, teaching fellow from IOM. So I'm having a question that what were the job opportunity our MTech Ocean Technology student will get, can explain.
Yeah, see, a lot of waterways going to be built because of that Sagarmala project, and a lot of developments is going to be developed, means around the coast. So, a lot of job opportunities going to come for like this stream engineers. Yeah, there is a shortage of engineers everywhere, and the way the development is happening, so a lot of opportunities are coming up. That is for true. And again, I will emphasize this is the decade, and next 2 3 decade you have to be there in India, and this is the place to be working. And if you grow with India, you will have a bright future.
Actually, in our curriculum, we have incorporated this coastal engineering, port and harbor engineering, sustainable blue economy, all those things. They are these students are the oceanography. All these subjects the students are learning. So definitely, your thank you for your valuable lecture. It is very nicely you have presented. So delivered. So students are being they are benefited by your lecture. You have clearly explained Gadi Sakti and the Gadi Sakti, the master plan.
Yes, yes,
It is
yes,
very
that
new.
is it.
It is very new to us. We have heard of Sagar Mala, but this Gadi Sakti master plan is like Chennai master plan. For coastal also they have a
Yeah,
master plan.
yes.
So that we have understood. And regarding the Goa project, goal project also, you have how nicely they have maintained the that is we know the green port and that is modernizing the port and green port like that we have heard, but now we understood how they have done the infrastructure so that pollution free environment they have created like that. From your case study it was understood. Thank you, thank you. Anybody want student feedback? No. Sorry.
Sir, the dredged materials from inland waterways, where it can be dumping, sir.
Dredged
The
material.
dredged material from
அது
inland
erosion
waterways.
places ல போறோம்.
You are having shortage of sand everywhere. See, so actually, that engineers has to decide where you want to dump. Actually, no.
Sir,
அது
because of
demand இருக்குல்ல.
main source for the sediments along the coast, they only dredge பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா the coast will suffer. Sediment transport.
இல்ல dredging வந்து port areaல பண்ணுவாங்க.
The inland waterways, sir,
Riverல
So
பண்ணுவாங்க.
inland waterways also they are doing now. They are doing in some places where the minimum depth should be there.
So that boat will be needed.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
yeah, welcome.
Yeah. Any other question? Actually, we have developed. I want to develop a elective course on shipping and logistics in due course. So when we are developing, we will send the draft copy to you so that you can correct it. And
Please do it. Please do it.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, everyone.
thanks will be delivered by Harini. Please.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your experience and giving us an overall view regarding the shipping sector. I hope this must have been a very useful session to everyone. On behalf of Institute for Ocean Management, Anna University, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to Capt.Jeyaraj.T for taking time out of his hectic schedule to educate us about the shipping sector. Thank you, sir. I want to thank each and every one of you. I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you.
Actually, we used to give a memento and honorarium, but we don't know how to give it to you.
It's no problem. That all the wishes is good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we can.